What's up, folks? Hope you're having a wonderful night or day. Today I wanted to make a quick guide video for Fractured Online and tell you about what you need to do before you even get to the mainland. Now, when you first get in game, you're going to create your character and then you're going to start going through the tutorial, which is going to throw you through a series of quests. Something that everybody's going to recommend is that you fully complete all of the quest lines while you're in the tutorial, but further than that, you're going to want to also complete what's known as your Book of Knowledge, your Bestiary. Now, the way Fractured Online works progression-wise is when it comes to your abilities, you actually unlock a vast majority of these by killing mobs over and over until you unlock the knowledge for them. If you're looking for one in specific, you can actually press V to go into your progression menu, switch to your abilities, and then you can see all of the available abilities that'll be in the game. And if you hover over them, you can see which monsters use this ability. And the cool thing is when it comes to these monsters, as you probably guessed by that tooltip, they will actually be using these abilities that you're able to unlock from them. So let's say you come across a mob in the world that's using a spell that you really want. If you're able to actually recognize that, chances are you'll probably be able to unlock it by killing it over and over. Now, there is a whole nother progression system for the talent tree and also the various schools in the game, but we're going to talk about that later. Don't worry about that right now. All you need to worry about in the tutorial is going through the quest line and then killing all of the mobs until you complete your bestiary. And you're going to notice that these 12 mobs are not, like, this bestiary isn't showing everything that you can kill in the game. Once you get out of the tutorial, it's going to expand. But in the tutorial, you're going to see only these 12 because this is the available monsters and mobs that are in the tutorial. Now, for any reason, if you absolutely need to skip the tutorial, you should at least wait until you get to this quest that requires you to tame a horse. That way you don't have to worry about doing that when you get to whichever planet you're planning to choose. Also, the reason that you complete your bestiary before you leave the tutorial is because if you don't do that, some of these mobs can be a little bit harder to find, and then you might have to travel to the other planet entirely to find them. So that's why it's best to just do this before you leave at all. That horse is being very difficult, so I'll just work with this one. Another thing too is at some point in the tutorial, you're going to come across quests that require you to kill bosses. They're pretty straightforward, but I did want to give you a tip on where to find these bosses. Now, actually, I think after this quest, you do unlock the quest lines that give this to you. So you got Crawling Horror and Night Fang. So these are the only two bosses in the tutorial. And the way that you find them, Night Fang, if you open the map, it's going to be down the center path right here. And it's going to be a giant wolf. Make sure you go back to a campfire and learn some more of your skills before you take this one on. And then the Crawling Horror is going to be in this section. I believe it's in this section right here, but it's definitely down this pathway. So you can find that one over there. And then lasting tips, when you first get to this town after completing the first couple of quest lines, it's going to want you to create silk cloth. You're going to do this by going over to the loom right here and then selecting on it, and you can click on the silk cloth portion, create this, and then it's going to ask you to create common clothes, which you can do by coming over here. Now, the cool thing about crafting, which I'll just tell you briefly, is you can actually, instead of using the baseline material that you see here, you can click on this and then choose whichever one you prefer instead, and it will give you different modifiers based on what you chose. Now, the silk cloth that you craft via the tutorial, you can actually use to create this cloth armor, but there's more than enough linen around that it doesn't really matter which material you make it with, you just have to make it in general. Another thing is to make sure that as you're fighting mobs, pretty much after you complete like the first two quest lines, that you go back to town, either the first place that you started in, or you come to this new town, go to this campfire right here. It actually took me a couple of minutes before I figured this out initially. And then you can sit down and then edit your abilities and then put those new skills that you've unlocked in there. That's all for now, folks. And also, when you're fully complete with all the quest lines and you've killed all the monsters and you're ready to leave, when you click on this portal, you'll need to understand that there are 2 planets. If you're not sure what to do after the tutorial, you'll find different icons on the map that are orange shields, and they will indicate player cities that you can go to and try to apply. There's a few guilds that are actively looking for people all the time, mine included. I'm a part of the Iron Bank. We're in the city of Bravos, which is west of the southern starting city. If you're looking for a group, you can definitely come to us. There's also Ba Sing Se, there's Fishbowl. There's really cool cities filled with players willing to help you, and on the Beastman planet, they have Pizza Hut and the Shire. But also, if you're someone who prefers living alone, being kind of like a lone hermit, you can absolutely do that. There's a ton of house plots available everywhere. It costs 2,000 gold to buy one, and you should do that anyway. I actually recommend building near a harbor, which is an anchor icon on the map. That way you can be close to a fast travel point that you can use to fast travel to other different cities. If you're interested in trying this game, it is available on Steam, but I also have an affiliate link in the description you can click on. And if you use code SirMedieval during checkout on the website, you'll get a 5% discount. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Have a great rest of your day.